Life is not love. Life isn't written in the stars up above. Life's not a diamond ring delivered by a dove. Oh no, life is not love. Life isn't joy. Life's not a puppy playing round with a toy. Life's not an ice cream for a giddy little boy. No, no, life is not joy. Life's not a ton of fun. It's not playing around in the sun. It's not birthdays and lattes and finally meeting the one. Life is pain. Life is a kitten outside in the rain. If there is one thing that's stuck in my brain, it's that life is just suffering and pain.
This farm was planned to be a completely no-till farm, but I got a free electric tiller from a friend. And more importantly, I got impatient, so I spent a few hours tilling the first block of the farm. Tillage is the fastest method I know to turn a weedy lawn into a garden bed. It breaks up all the existing plant matter and buries it into the soil where it can break down slowly and feed the plants that we want to grow. But it also exposes the soil, which allows all the weed seeds to get the sunlight and water they need to germinate. Weeding is the last chore I want stacking up on the farm, so to prevent the weeds from becoming a problem, we'll be using cardboard or whatever else we can get our hands on, like the mulch I used earlier, to block the light from hitting the soil's surface. As the newly revealed seeds in the soil get exposed to water, they'll germinate, and then, because of the lack of sunlight, they'll fail to photosynthesize and die right in place. And that's how we turn weeds into free fertilizer. Cardboard is a perfect material for this because it completely blocks the light while allowing water to pass through. And it's great for improving efficiency on the farm. It breaks down into the soil over time, so we never really have to pull it back up. The weedy chaos we're looking at is the biggest reason I'm doing all this. I've identified 10 different plant species in this mess, and there's about a dozen more I have no idea how to find. So instead of figuring it out, I'm just going to turn them all into fertilizer. Because I can get a little obsessive about things that ultimately don't matter, I want to maintain these nice straight lines and perfect edges. Not just because it looks nice, but also because I don't want these random plants leaching nutrients from my veggie beds. Before we go any further, let's talk about how I got all this mulch, since that's a pretty important step in this whole process. I spent days calling different tree companies in my area to see which ones would drop a load of fresh, untreated wood chips right into my backyard. This method depends very heavily on your local resources. It works great in Florida, since we're basically a rainforest and trees are constantly being cut down. But I'm a big believer in turning local waste streams into something useful. So I thought it was worth the time and the effort. And that'll be a big part of the farm going forward. This is something I want you guys watching all across the world to try to do too. There are so many precious things that are just thrown away, and it's a real shame to not at least try to use some of them. Right now you're watching a local tree company that does a lot of work in my area, and after begging them for a few days to weeks, we established a relationship, and now I get pretty regular drops from these guys. If you're a home gardener who's ever going to need an arborist, and you have space for mulch drops, I highly recommend this method. But if you're like most people I know and you don't want to make cold calls to strangers, you can use ChipDrop. It's a great service that links you up to local arborists who can deliver bulk untreated mulch if you've got the space to accept it, with absolutely no warning at all. So it makes sense to use some time to make your instructions really clear. And if you can afford it, you should tip your arborists. They do hard work, and this is a valuable resource. So even if you can only afford to pay them a small amount per load, you're still saving a whole lot compared to buying bags of mulch at the big box stores. And you're helping them feel a bit better about making the drop. It's a good way to show appreciation, and it's a great way to turn a waste product into something truly valuable. Because, at least for me, there's nothing worth more than knowing where your food comes from, and knowing that it's sustainably grown, locally sourced, and gives you the knowledge that you're doing your small part for the environment by keeping all this mulch out of the dump or processing plants. Okay, that's the end of my spiel. Let's get back to the soil. Even after a good round of tillage, these weeds are still growing through the exposed soil. And because I don't have enough cardboard or mulch just yet, I'll be covering the soil with whatever I've got laying around. Although these materials don't do a great job of breaking down over time, they're perfectly opaque, and sunlight won't be getting through these, which is all we need to stop the weeds from growing. So even though we'll have to pick these up in a few weeks, they'll do a great job of getting rid of the plants we don't want on the farm. And while we wait for that, I'm sure the cats will be able to put these to good use. That's it for today. Next time, we're finally growing some plants.